Nature has one rule that matters more than any other: survival. And some animals have figured out that the best way to survive isn't being the fastest or the strongest, it's being the most deceptive. I ranked each of the 7 continents by its most deceptive animal. How are we ranking these? Simple. We're looking at 3 factors. First, the sophistication of the deception. How complex is the trick? Second, the stakes involved. Are they deceiving to eat, to survive, or to reproduce? And third, the victims. Are they fooling simple prey, or are they outsmarting highly intelligent animals? Each continent gets one representative, its most deceptive animal. Then we stack them up, starting with number 7. Coming in at number 7, Antarctica. And look, I know what you're thinking. Antarctica barely has any land animals. Penguins, seals, and a few birds. How deceptive can they really be? Representing Antarctica, we have the leopard seal. And while this apex predator might not seem like a trickster at first, watch what it does. When hunting penguins, leopard seals have been observed using a disturbing tactic. They'll patrol the edges of ice floes, sometimes hiding just beneath the water's surface, staying perfectly still. Penguins at the edge can't tell if the dark shape below is a harmless shadow or certain death. But here's where it gets darker. Leopard seals have been documented playing with their food, literally tossing penguins around, which scientists believe may serve a purpose beyond cruelty. By making themselves unpredictable, they create psychological terror, causing penguins to hesitate and make mistakes. The deception? Making prey second-guess everything they see. The problem? It's more intimidation than true deception. Antarctica takes 7th place. The leopard seal is scary, but compared to what's coming, it's practically honest. At number 6, Europe. And Europe's representative might just be the most infamous con artist in the bird world, the common cuckoo. Female cuckoos don't build nests. They don't raise their own young. Instead, they wait for another bird, let's say a reed warbler, to leave her nest unattended. Then, in just 10 seconds, the cuckoo swoops in, removes one of the warbler's eggs, and lays her own in its place. And this is where it gets incredible. The cuckoo egg is nearly identical to the host's eggs. Different cuckoo populations have evolved to match the specific eggs of their local host species. Blue eggs for hosts with blue eggs. Spotted eggs for hosts with spotted eggs. It's forgery at a genetic level, but the deception doesn't stop there. When the cuckoo chick hatches, it pushes the other eggs, the warbler's actual babies, out of the nest. And the poor warbler? She feeds this imposter, even though the cuckoo chick is often 3 times her size. This is called brood parasitism, and it's been so successful that cuckoos haven't raised their own young for millions of years. Europe takes 6th. The cuckoo is devious, but the deception is instinctive, not adaptive. It can't adjust its tactics on the fly, and that's what separates good from great. Number 5, North America. And this continent's entry is a bird that has mastered the art of the false alarm. Meet the zone-tailed hawk. Now, if you're not a bird expert, you might look at this hawk and think, that looks exactly like a turkey vulture. Same size, same dark coloring, same way of flying with wings held in a slight V shape. And that's exactly what prey animals think too. See, turkey vultures only eat dead things. They're completely harmless to living animals. So when small mammals see what they think is a vulture circling overhead, they don't run. They don't hide. Big mistake. The zone-tailed hawk has evolved to be a near-perfect mimic of the turkey vulture. It even flies with groups of vultures to complete the disguise. Prey animals have learned over generations that vultures mean safety, and the zone-tailed hawk exploits that trust with lethal precision. It's like a wolf wearing a sheep costume, except evolution made the costume. North America lands at number 5. The zone-tailed hawk is a genius of disguise, but it's working with one trick. The animals ahead, they have entire arsenals. Coming in at number 4, Africa. And Africa's representative has turned lying into a full-time profession. This bird doesn't just deceive once in a while, it lies constantly, and it's so good at it that other animals still fall for it. Meet the fork-tailed drongo. This glossy black bird has one of the most devious survival strategies ever documented. It follows other animals, meerkats, babblers, even other bird species, and watches them find food. Then it screams. The drongo has learned to mimic the alarm calls of over 50 different species. When a meerkat hears what sounds like another meerkat screaming, "Eagle," it runs for cover immediately. No hesitation. And while everyone's hiding, the drongo swoops in and steals whatever food they left behind. But here's where it gets incredibly sophisticated. The meerkats aren't stupid. If the drongo cried wolf too many times with the same call, they'd stop believing it. So the drongo rotates its lies. Researchers discovered that when one false alarm stops working, the drongo switches to a different species alarm call. Fresh lie, fresh panic. It's essentially running a con game where it constantly changes its disguise to stay ahead of its marks. And to keep the whole system working, the drongo also makes genuine alarm calls when real predators appear. It has to maintain some credibility or the whole scheme falls apart. Africa takes fourth. The fork-tailed drongo is a pathological liar that has turned deception into an entire lifestyle, and it's smart enough to know exactly how much truth to mix in with its lies. All right, we're in the top 3 now. If you're enjoying this, drop a comment with your guess. Which continent do you think has the most deceptive animal? Let's see who gets it right. At number 3, Asia. And Asia's representative takes deception to a psychological level that's honestly terrifying. Behold, the orchid mantis. At first glance, you might not even see it. That's because this mantis has evolved to look exactly like a flower, specifically the orchids found throughout Southeast Asia. Its legs have developed petal-like lobes. Its coloring ranges from white to pink, perfectly matching local blooms. But here's what researchers discovered that changed everything. The orchid mantis isn't just hiding among flowers. In many cases, it doesn't even need a flower. Studies have shown that pollinators like bees and butterflies are actually more attracted to the mantis than to real flowers. The mantis has become a better flower than actual flowers. Think about what that means. This creature has reverse-engineered millions of years of flower pollinator evolution and hijacked it. Bees evolved to find flowers. The mantis evolved to be what bees are looking for, down to reflecting UV light the way flowers do. It's not just camouflage, it's aggressive mimicry at a level that fools creatures who have spent their entire evolutionary history learning to find the real thing. Asia claims third place. The orchid mantis isn't hiding from danger, it's become the danger by looking like safety itself. At number 2, Australia. Of course, it's Australia. And look, this continent could have made the list with a dozen different animals, but one creature stands above the rest: the giant Australian cuttlefish. Now, you've probably heard that cuttlefish can change color, but calling this changing color is like calling the Mona Lisa a painting. What cuttlefish do is closer to magic. They have specialized cells called chromatophores that can expand or contract in a fraction of a second. Combined with iridophores for shine and leucophores for white, they can produce virtually any color, any pattern, instantly. They use this for camouflage, obviously. But here's where Australia's cuttlefish goes beyond. During mating season, large male cuttlefish guard females aggressively. Smaller males don't stand a chance in a direct fight. So what do? They disguise themselves as females. The smaller male will change his colors and patterns to look exactly like a female, even tucking in his extra arms to complete the illusion. Then he swims right past the guarding male, who thinks he's just another potential mate, and mates with the female right under the big guy's nose. But wait, it gets more insane. Researchers have observed cuttlefish showing different displays on each side of their body simultaneously. One side shows female coloring to fool the guard, the other side shows male mating displays to attract the female. They're running 2 cons at the same time, on the same body. Australia earns second place. The cuttlefish isn't just deceptive, it's a shapeshifter running real-time psychological operations, but there's still one continent ahead. And at number 1, South America. The Amazon rainforest alone contains more species than anywhere else on Earth. Competition here is brutal. And out of millions of species, one organism has achieved something truly terrifying. Meet a carpenter ant. Wait, what? Watch this ant carefully. Something's wrong. It's left its colony. It's climbing a plant. Something carpenter ants don't normally do. It reaches a very specific height, clamps its jaws onto a leaf vein, and dies. But here's the thing. This ant didn't choose to do any of that. What you're actually watching is Ophiocordyceps, the zombie fungus. This parasitic fungus infects ants and literally takes control of their bodies. Not their brains, their muscles. The ant's brain is still alive, still aware, but it can no longer control its own actions. The fungus drives the ant to climb to a specific height where temperature and humidity are perfect for fungal growth. It forces the ant to bite down on a leaf vein, a death grip that locks its jaws even after death. Then the fungus erupts from the ant's head, raining spores onto the colony below. The deception here operates on multiple levels. First, infected ants often behave normally around their colony mates for weeks. Before the fungus takes over, they're sleeper agents. Second, the fungus has evolved over millions of years to manipulate ants with surgical precision, knowing exactly when, where, and how to kill its host for maximum spread. Some ant species have even evolved to detect infected members and physically carry them far from the colony before the fungus can trigger its death march. Think about what this means. This fungus doesn't just deceive its prey, it hijacks their nervous system and puppeteers them to their deaths in exactly the right location to infect more victims. South America takes the crown. Ophiocordyceps isn't just the most deceptive organism on its continent, it might be the most sophisticated manipulator in the entire animal kingdom. If you made it this far, thank you. You're officially one of the real ones. Hit that subscribe button if you want more videos like this, and check out this video right here.